Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mikasa Sekai. I'm so glad you're here. For those of you just joining us, this is the place where we dive deep into the world of anime, exploring the big shows, the epic fights, and the stories that really make us feel something. Today, we're talking about a show that's a lot more than just a romantic comedy. It's a story about what it means to be real with people. We're going to break down all 3 seasons of my teen romantic comedy Snafu, a story about a lonely, cynical guy and his journey to find something genuine. Get ready, because we're going to get into every single emotional moment. The story of 3 lonely students. Our story begins with a high school student named Hachiman Hikigaya. He's a loner who believes that being alone is the best way to live. He thinks things like friendship, love, and being popular are all fake. He's very smart and notices everything around him, but he uses his intelligence to be negative and cynical. His unhappy high school life leads him to write a very critical essay for a class. This essay gets him into trouble. His teacher, a woman named Shizuka Hiratsuka, is the one who finds his essay. Shizuka is more than just a teacher. She's a loving and wise person in Hachiman's life. She is beautiful and kind, and she understands people, especially students like Hachiman who are struggling. She isn't afraid to be blunt and tough when she needs to be, but it's only because she truly cares. She sees that Hachiman is smart but has a wrong way of thinking. She wants to help him change for the better. Shizuka forces Hachiman to join a club called the Service Club. This club is a place where students can go for help with their problems. Shizuka knows that Hachiman, with his sharp mind, needs to learn how to connect with others, and she thinks this club is the perfect place for him to do that. She acts as the club's advisor and often checks in on them, offering wise advice and sometimes even a little playful teasing. She has a very special relationship with Hachiman because she sees a hidden goodness in him. She's one of the few people who can truly understand him and his cynical mind. She is not just a teacher. She is like a loving and wise older sister to him, always guiding him from a distance. When Hachiman joins the club, he meets the only other member, a girl named Yukino Shita. Yukino is beautiful, very smart, and from a rich family. She is also a loner, but for different reasons than Hachiman. She is so perfect and honest that she often says things that hurt people without meaning to. She believes she must fix the world and sees herself as a righteous person. She and Hachiman are very similar in their loneliness and sharp minds, but they have different ideas about how to live. They often argue and challenge each other's beliefs. Soon, a 3rd student joins the club, a cheerful and popular girl named Yui Yuigahama. She comes to the club for help with making cookies, but quickly becomes a regular member. Yui is the opposite of Hachiman and Yukino. She is friendly, social, and wants everyone to get along. She values harmony and friendship above everything else. Yui represents the kind of high school life that Hachiman hates, but she is genuinely kind. Her presence starts to change the club's dynamic. It is revealed that Yui knows Hachiman from before, when he saved her dog from getting hit by a car, and she feels she owes him for it. This little secret adds a layer of quiet, unspoken emotion to her desire to be close to him. The service club's job is to solve problems for other students. The way they solve these problems is the main focus of the season. Hachiman has a unique method. He believes that the quickest and most effective way to solve a problem is to take all the blame on himself. He often makes himself look bad, acts like the villain, or says mean things to get the job done. He is willing to sacrifice his own reputation and social standing to help others, because he believes he has nothing to lose. He thinks a perfect solution that makes everyone happy is a lie, and he'd rather take the painful but effective route. Yukino and Yui don't like this method. They believe in finding a solution that doesn't hurt anyone, but Hachiman shows them that a perfect solution is not always possible. This fundamental difference in their beliefs is what drives most of the conflict in their club. One of the first big problems is when a popular student, Hayato Hayama, asks the club for help. His friend, a girl named Yumiko Miura, has a problem with a boy. Hachiman's solution is to embarrass himself and pretend he is confessing to the boy. This quickly ends the drama and helps Yumiko without anyone else getting hurt. This shows Hachiman's willingness to be the scapegoat. He takes on the pain so others don't have to. Another important event is the school's class president election. 2 students are running, but no one is taking the election seriously. Hachiman's friend, Saika Totsuka, is also involved, which is important to Hachiman. Hachiman wants to help the quiet student Meguri Shiromeguri win. To do this, he comes up with a brutal plan. He gives a speech that insults the other candidates and the students who don't care, making himself the common enemy. By making people angry at him, he makes them vote for Meguri out of spite. The plan works, but it deeply upsets Yukino and Yui. They feel that Hachiman's method was cruel and unfair. This is the first time their different ways of thinking cause a major fight. Yukino is mad because she thinks he betrayed his principles, and Yui is heartbroken because she sees how much he's hurting himself. Later, the club goes to a summer camp to help a group of kids. One of the kids is struggling to make friends. Hachiman, using his own experience as a loner, gives the girl some advice. He tells her that it's okay to be alone sometimes, and that she shouldn't force himself to be friends with people who don't understand her. This shows a softer, more emotional side of Hachiman. During this camp, they also meet Hayama again, who is the opposite of Hachiman. Hayama is the perfect popular student who is always trying to keep everyone happy. Hachiman and Hayama have a tense relationship, as they represent two opposite ways of living. Hayama is all about harmony, while Hachiman is all about truth, no matter how ugly. The season's biggest event is the school's cultural festival. The service club is asked to help with the festival committee, which is filled with drama. Yukino's older sister, Haruno Yukinoshita, is also involved. Haruno is a beautiful and smart woman who seems perfect, but she's very manipulative and controlling, especially toward Yukino. The conflict between the sisters is a big part of the story. Yukino wants to prove she can be independent from her sister. Hachiman, again, uses his methods to solve the problems in the committee. He uses harsh words to make people work together. And he even tries to help Yukino with her sister. By the end of the season, Hachiman's cynical shell starts to crack. He realizes that his methods are hurting not just himself, but also Yukino and Yui. After the cultural festival, they have a tense moment where Yukino and Yui tell him that they don't like his self-sacrificing ways. They see it as a form of running away from real connection. Hachiman, for the first time, feels the pain of what he's doing. This moment of emotional confrontation is a major turning point. He finally understands that his actions have consequences for the people he cares about, even if he pretends not to care. The three of them are in the club room, and Hachiman gives a short, honest speech. He says that he doesn't know what to do anymore, and that his old way of thinking isn't working perfectly anymore. The three of them have created a real, but very fragile bond. They aren't traditional friends, but they have a deep connection built on their shared experiences and challenges. The season shows that growing up is a difficult and often painful process, and that finding real connection requires being vulnerable, which is the hardest thing for Hachiman to do. The three members of the service club, Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui, are still trying to figure out their new and fragile relationship. The easy, unspoken rules they had in Season 1 are gone. Now, there is a new feeling of tension and honesty between them, and they are all a little worried about how to move forward. The story in this season is less about solving simple problems and more about facing very real and painful feelings. The season begins with a small but important problem from the student council. The student council president, Shiro Meguri, is graduating, and a new president needs to be chosen. This time, instead of solving the problem with Hachiman's old, harsh methods, the club members try to find a better way. This leads to a lot of disagreement, especially between Yukino and Hachiman. Yukino believes in a pure, honest solution, while Hachiman still wants to use his old tricks. This conflict causes them to drift apart for a little while. Hachiman's cynical nature and his loner attitude are put to the test again, and he realizes that his old ways are no longer good enough for his new friends. This season introduces two very important new characters from the student council, Ishiki Iroha and Hayama Hayato's group of friends. Iroha is a cute, popular girl who becomes the new student council president. She is a bit lazy and likes to pretend to be clueless, but she is actually quite smart and a good leader. She often comes to Hachiman for help, and they develop a funny and playful relationship. Hachiman helps her with her duties, but he also starts to learn how to cooperate with others instead of just doing things by himself. A major part of Season 2 is the Christmas event arc. The service club is asked to help plan a joint event with a different school. This is a huge project, and it brings out all the disagreements between the club members. Yukino, in an attempt to prove she is strong and can do things on her own, takes on too much responsibility. She is under immense pressure from her family and her sister, Haruno, and she feels like she must succeed alone. Hachiman, seeing that she is struggling, wants to help, but he doesn't know how to do it without hurting their new, fragile bond. Yui, caught in the middle, just wants everyone to get along and be happy. This is the moment where Hachiman realizes that his cynical methods from Season 1, where he hurt himself to help others, will only hurt his friends now. He understands that sacrificing himself will destroy the very connection he is trying to build. The climax of this arc is when Hachiman gives a very emotional and honest speech to both Yukino and Yui. He tells them that he doesn't want to use his old fake methods anymore. He tells them that he wants to work with them, not just for them. He asks for something genuine, a real, honest connection, where they don't have to lie to each other or hide their true feelings. He is asking to be vulnerable and to have them be vulnerable with him. This is a massive turning point for Hachiman's character. He finally admits that he wants to be close to people and that he is tired of being a loner. This moment deeply moves both Yukino and Yui, and it changes the way they interact forever. After this emotional breakthrough, the club's relationship becomes deeper and more complicated. The next major arc is the Valentine's Day event. Yukino and Yui are making chocolates, and Hachiman's younger sister, Komachi, gets involved. The story explores the complexities of different kinds of love and friendship. Hachiman, with his newfound desire for a genuine connection, tries to help without his usual tricks. We see how much he truly cares for both Yukino and Yui, and how their presence in his life has changed him completely. Another important part of the season is the conflict between Yukino and her family. We learn more about her older sister, Haruno, and her mother. Haruno is always pushing Yukino, making her feel like she's not good enough. Yukino's mother is very strict and wants her to follow the family's rules. This pressure causes Yukino a lot of pain, and she starts to break down under the weight of it. Hachiman, seeing her struggle, wants to help her find her own path, separate from her family's expectations. He wants her to be her own person. The season ends with a very emotional and powerful moment in the service club room. Yukino finally makes a very difficult and honest request. She tells Hachiman and Yui that she wants to become more independent and face her family on her own terms. She says that she can no longer depend on their help and that she wants to find her own path. She asks them to help her with this, not by solving the problem for her, but by supporting her as she faces her own struggles. The final scene shows Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui walking home together. The relationships are not neat or perfect. They are filled with difficult feelings, unspoken love, and a desire for something real. Hachiman has gone from a cynical loner to a boy who is willing to be vulnerable and seek a genuine connection. Yukino has gone from a perfect, lonely girl to someone who is ready to face her own fears and family. Yui is still the kind and caring person she was, but now she is a more active part of their difficult and beautiful bond. Season 2 is all about the pain and beauty of trying to build a real connection with others, and it ends with the understanding that this is a difficult and ongoing journey for all three of them. The search for something genuine is the final chapter of the story, and it is all about the characters finally confronting their feelings and finding what genuine truly means to them. The season picks up right where Season 2 left off, with a heavy and uncertain feeling in the air. The three members of the service club, Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui, have moved past the fake ways of connecting, but now they are faced with the difficult and scary task of building something real. In this final season, Hachiman's beloved teacher, Shizuka Hiratsuka, plays a more personal and deeply emotional role than ever before. She isn't just an advisor anymore, she is the loving adult who truly understands the pain and struggle of these three students. She has watched Hachiman grow from a closed-off loner to a boy who is finally willing to open his heart. She knows what he's going through because she has a similar past, and she sees herself in him. She often finds a way to talk to him, offering wise advice and a gentle push in the right direction. She is one of the few people who can see the deep love and connection that Hachiman has for Yukino and Yui, and she wants nothing more than for them to find happiness. She knows that Hachiman is scared of being vulnerable, but she believes he is strong enough to do it. Her guidance is crucial, reminding him that finding love and happiness is worth the pain and risk of being hurt. She's the wise figure who reminds them that their feelings are real and important. The central conflict of this season starts with the promise Hachiman and Yui made to Yukino at the end of Season 2. Yukino asks them to help her with a difficult decision, to become independent and face her family's issues on her own. This is a huge request, and it puts Hachiman and Yui in a very tough spot. They both want to help her, but they also have their own deep feelings for her, and they're worried about what this help will mean for their friendship. A major part of the season revolves around the prom. Yukino decides to take on the huge task of planning the school's prom as a way to prove her independence. This is a massive challenge, and she wants to do it all by herself. Hachiman, seeing how much she's struggling, can't just stand by and watch. He knows that his cynical methods won't work anymore, so he has to find a new way to help her that doesn't hurt her pride. During this time, Shizuka is a constant source of emotional support for Hachiman. She gives him advice that is both wise and full of love, telling him to be honest with his feelings and not to let go of the people who matter most to him. This is where the emotional core of the season really shines. Hachiman and Yukino are caught in a push-and-pull dynamic. Hachiman wants to protect her and help her, but he's scared of getting in her way. Yukino wants to be strong on her own, but she's also scared of failing and losing the people she cares about. Their feelings for each other are so strong, but they are both too afraid to be honest. The way they talk to each other is filled with hidden meanings and unspoken emotions. Every look, every quiet moment is loaded with what they can't bring themselves to say. Yui's role in this season is incredibly heartbreaking. She is caught in the middle, seeing how much Hachiman and Yukino care for each other. Yui has her own deep feelings for Hachiman, and she knows she might not get what she wants. However, because she loves her friends so much, she is willing to be the one who gets hurt. She wants them to be happy, even if it means her own heart will break. She constantly tries to keep the peace and make everyone feel good, but this time it's a much more difficult and painful task. Her emotions are a huge part of the story, as she struggles with being a friend and with her own unrequited love. She is a testament to what true, selfless friendship looks like. As the prom planning gets more difficult, Hachiman decides to take a new approach. Instead of using his old tricks, he works with the student council and other students in a new, honest way. He even gets help from Hayama Hayato, the popular student who is a rival to him in many ways. Together, they create a new, successful prom plan. This shows how much Hachiman has grown. He is no longer just a loner. He has learned to cooperate and trust others. The climax of the prom arc is when Hachiman and Yukino finally have a very honest and emotional conversation. In a quiet moment, Hachiman tells Yukino that he can't stand by and watch her suffer alone. He says that he wants to be with her and that he loves her. This is a massive moment for his character, as he finally opens up and admits his true feelings. It's a confession that isn't just about love, but about wanting to build a life and a future with her. Yukino, moved by his honesty, finally confesses her own feelings. She admits that she wants to be with him too, and that she's been scared of losing him. Their conversation is filled with a sense of relief and hope as they finally stop running from their feelings. Yui, who is a witness to this conversation, is heartbroken, but also finds a way to be happy for them. She shows true love and friendship by letting go of her own feelings and supporting her friend's happiness. The final episode brings all the storylines to a close. Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui all find a new place in their lives. Yukino successfully plans the prom and takes a big step toward independence. Hachiman has learned to be honest and open with his emotions, and he finds a genuine connection with Yukino. Yui, while still sad about her own feelings, finds a new strength in her friendship with both of them. She understands that friendship and love are not always the same thing, but they are both incredibly important. The story ends with the three of them moving forward. The service club is still a special place for them, but now it's a place of honesty and real feelings. The something genuine that Hachiman was looking for has been found. It's not a simple, happy ending, but a very real and emotional one, where all the characters have grown and found a way to be true to themselves and each other. My teen romantic comedy Snafu is a powerful story about growing up and finding real human connection. It takes a normal high school man story and makes it something truly special. by showing us how messy and difficult relationships can be. It teaches us that growth is painful, that to find a real connection, you have to be vulnerable, and that friendship and love are often complicated, but beautiful all at once. Hachiman's journey from a cynical loner to a boy who is willing to fight for something genuine is one of the best character arcs in all of anime. It teaches us that to find real happiness, you have to be willing to be hurt. And that's a lesson that resonates with all of us. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you appreciate the beauty of this amazing story. What do you guys think? What was your favorite moment from the series? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of anime. See you next time here at Mikasa Sekai.